All right, howdy everyone. Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching. Here back for coaching in the carpool. Happy Tuesday to you. I was fortunate. I say that because I'm like, oh, kids home all the day. That is a switch in routine. But my kids and I had Friday and Monday off, and that was pretty fabulous. I do have some pretty smart kids. They're just, I don't know, too smart some days. I wish there was that little light switch that we could use to turn on when they're like 16 or 21 or something like that, but that's okay. So that's why no coaching from the carpool last Friday or yesterday, Monday, but I'm back. I'm back in carpool. See, in case you don't believe me. Oh, my friend just pulled up. So anyways, I was talking to you about how to prepare for the inevitable. You know, there's been a lot that has me thinking about this, and today's topic is going to be one of those things you don't think you need to do. Always seems like it's better to do it another time. Like you're too busy. I don't know. And then it happens. And what does that look like? Well, that looks like a death in the family. You know, that happened to me in December. It's happened to a lot of people recently. So prayers for everybody that's had to deal with that, because it's not just personally shattering, it can be business shattering. And if you've done this one thing, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, what do I say? It's not that big of a deal to your business, and it allows you the freedom to deal with your grief personally. And that's a gift. It's really a gift. Some other inevitable things that happen: a key employee leaves, just gone, here today, gone tomorrow, whatever that might be. Or you've put so much responsibility into one person, and that person may be the gem of your business, and they pass, or they leave, or they retire, and you didn't realize how much they were holding together in your business. Happened to my husband's uncle, actually. They had the office manager. I mean, key individual in this company, did everything, had been there from day one, knew everything, just a giving spirit, and she unexpectedly died. Well, the death of the person had such ramifications, it really negatively impacted the business. So death happens, right? We lose employees, that happens. People move on, that happens. All those things are part of life. But really what I'm talking about today is what we do to prepare for that. All right. And the minute you have an employee, or the minute you make the decision that you're not going to be doing all the work in your business, I'm going to go against the rule. You know, I've been talking about all these building blocks to a successful business, and so many of them are all about doing things at the right time. Most of us are doing all the right things, just a little out of sequence, and that's what keeps us stumbling and struggling. But this is one thing, is really you can start. You can just start. And that's that whole, are you ready? It's really sexy. It's really like, I don't know, mind-blowing. Systems, process. Systems and process. Systems set you free. And even my free-spirited people that love to do what they want to do whenever they want to do it can benefit from a system. So what is a system? I think people hear systems and process and they're like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of a downer. You're like, well, okay. It can be a little boring. But for most small businesses, here's the key. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just need it. A living document, a working document, I don't care how ugly it is. In fact, for most of my clients, when we're working on systems and processes, I don't want it pretty. And there's a reason why I don't want it pretty, okay? And this is a little psychology. I used to use it in my design business, all right? So if I gave you a hand drawing, right, then it feels like we can work on this. We can make changes. We can or do something. If I gave a line drawing mean I used CAD or something to produce a document and I printed it out, it looked final. Okay, so when things look final, it subconsciously tells the person looking at the document that we don't mess with this, right? We don't make changes to this. That's why I like these working documents. Not that you have to necessarily handwrite them, but put the word draft on it, you know, because we want constant improvements in systems. Now, systems is one of those fun things. My school's asking me to sign in again. It's one of those fun things in that you can do this every day, any day. It doesn't really add a whole lot of work to your workload if you do it this way. So if I told you to go through and I want you to document everything that you do and create systems and processes for your business, you're probably going to go, ugh, Leslie, I don't have the time. Remember? I don't have the time for that. I'm too busy. But if you just say, hey, today I'm opening up the store, or I'm opening up my business, or I'm getting ready to get things started, and you just jot it down, like step 1, turn on the lights. Step 2, put the office key on the office hook. Step 3, reopen your computer. Step 4, check for voicemails and emails. I mean, this is really basic, right? Nobody's blown away by any of it. That's all it takes to create a system. Now, why are systems so important to us? Systems, the minute you have a system, you can either hire somebody to do the system, or you can get some subcontractor to do it. And the minute you have a system, you should get a reliable result. Does that make sense? So for instance, podcasting used to be something I did for 2.5 years, okay? I had a process, and that process from stem to stern, like from the communicating and doing all this stuff, and there are companies out there that will do it for you, and please, by God, use it, because it takes a lot of time. But when I started podcasting, there wasn't all these people providing these services, so I had to figure it out. It had everything that you need to do. It had screenshots, it had little arrows, click this button. I mean, that basic. But because of that, I could hire it out. I could give it to my VA. In fact, my VA and I would have a process where I'd like, hey, I want you to take on something else. She's like, great. I was like, I'll send you the process. I want review it, try it, let me know if you have any questions. It worked really, really well. So the systems is kind of for that ability to get leverage. So if you've got something you want to get rid of, something you want to hire out or pass on or have somebody else do, the system is the best way to do it and ensure that you get the quality of product that you want. Case in point, had an interior design client on the East Coast out in Washington, Virginia area. And when I met her, kid you not, woman could not stay in the conference room we were at. I watched her literally in an hour get up and go take 4 or 5 phone calls. She had no support staff. She actually had a part-time person, but she wasn't utilizing them. And part of her fear was nobody can do it like me. And that's a common fear. She had bad hires. I've had bad hires, believe me, and I've had great hires. But sometimes that can start to be, I don't know, the back talk in our brain that doesn't allow us to do what we need to do in our businesses. Just by working on systems. You know, she really didn't need marketing help, didn't work on that. We did work on some cash flow, but just more working on team and systems, okay? 18 months, she nearly was tripling her business, had staff. I think she took 9 weeks of vacation, where before she hadn't taken vacation maybe for 3 or 4 years. The systems are what set you free. So when you're looking for things, you want these systems in place because they really help the business run on its own. My favorite definition of a business, of a successful business, is a commercial enterprise that can work without you. Not always been great about it in my own business, but that's okay. You know, every day is a new day, and there's a way to start. My personal life, being that my mother-in-law passed away in December, and if any of you know me, you know that the reason that my husband and I moved from Houston to Dallas, the reason I switched businesses, was all to be able to support my family more, as we were, kind of working that. And if you've had a family member with dementia, you know what that means. But really, December, when I was grieving, I was out of my business, and for a lot of ways, it's just me. And coming back and, going through the grieving process and coming back in, I didn't necessarily want team. I've kept it small for a reason. Everything's been very intentional, but I opened up to the way that I can actually position this business. So my, not this year plan, but next year plan is to start bringing on other coaches so that we can impact more businesses, and so that I'm actually walking my own talk, if you will. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't have systems, right? I'm not going to know who I need to hire or the skills that I need to hire if I don't have systems. So That's really huge for today. Systems really are what give you the freedom to go have lunch with a whole bunch of other like-minded business owners and brainstorm about what you're wanting in the community and what you want for your own business. I mean, that's really where the $1 million ideas come into play. It's really where you have the best, I will say the best value as a business owner is actually growing the business, not always doing the things in the business. And systems is really how you do that. So systems is our number 9. So I'm just going to review in case you forgot. So we had commitment to succeed. We had niche. We had marketing message. We had attracting clients. We had sales. Oh, everybody loves sales. I'm going to look at my list. Yep, we're good. We got your voodoo. So the voodoo that you do so well, and that's your personal brand and your own secret sauce and your spicing. We talked about money-making methods and money-making models, and today was about systems. So really, by the time you're getting to this level 9, if you've done everything in a row, you should have a multi-six-figure business. You should really have whatever business it is that you want. You can get to $500,000 businesses without systems. You're just working really hard, not necessarily making a whole lot of money in it, but your top line number looks really good. You can do all, you can make money if you've got a good product and a good service. But the systems really is about taking it a step further, about being more than just the worker in your business. And so if you can't work, let me give you a few symptoms. I love this. What was I? If we have a cold, we know the symptoms to watch for. The itchy throat, the runny nose, kind of a thing like that. But nobody tells us the symptoms in our business for the problem that we're having. So I'm trying to do a little bit of that for you. So what does needing systems look like? If you're managing your employees till 6 o'clock, they get to go home at 6 and you're going back to work because that's the only time you're getting to be able to do your work, you need systems. If you are at that point in time where the thought of working one more second, one more minute, one more hour, you're like, there's no way, there's nothing left, you probably need systems. If you don't trust your employees to do what you need them to do, and you've hired good people, okay, this is not a bad person or a bad hire situation, but you've hired good people and you're not getting what you want, you need systems. Okay, all of these things create these little mini-me's that really set you free. So that's today. Coaching from the carpool. Kids are about to come out that door over there. Tune back in tomorrow about the same time, 2:30, 2:40 or so, as I pull into the carpool and do a little coaching. So my name is Leslie Hassler. I'm with Your Biz Rules Business Coaching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.